In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to attach an external style sheet to a web page. But before doing so, I want to explain the two other ways you can style elements, using inline styles and embedded styles. I've got two pages open here in a browser. They actually look identical, but they're styled differently. The page on the left is styled using inline styles. The page on the right uses embedded styles. You can find copies of these files in the Styling text folder of the course assets. Let's open Dreamweaver to see the underlying code. This is inlinestyles.html. In the opening body tag, there is a style attribute with the font family, and this controls the look of the font in the whole of the web page. But then in the h1 tag, we've got another style attribute with a different font family, a font size, and text align and color. So the inline style is applying this style to this particular element. And the same happens with this h2 tag. It's also got a style attribute with the font family and the color. And the same happens with each one of the headings. Each one has to be individually styled. Obviously, this is very time consuming and not very efficient. And the only time that this type of styling is used these days tends to be for creating HTML emails. Now let's see how embedded styles works. In this page, all the styles have been put inside a style block which is inside the head section of the page. So this first selector for body styles the whole page, then this h1, h2, h3 adds the color in the font family to all of the headings, and then this last one, h1, deals with the top level heading only. It aligns the text in the center and it sets the font size to 48 pixels. This is far more efficient because this single style rule here controls all of the headings, h1, h2 and h3. Although it's much better than the inline styles, one of the problems with this is that if you decide to change the color scheme or the font in the rest of the site, you've got to do this with each individual page. For a website that consists of only one or two pages, it's not a major hassle, but obviously the bigger your website gets, the more you have to go to each page to change the styles. So the obvious answer is put everything in an external style sheet. One page controls everything. So I'm now going to go to highway.html. You can also find a copy of this in the course assets. And what I'm going to do is to show you how to attach an external style sheet to it. To attach an external style sheet in Dreamweaver CC, go to the CSS Designer panel, and in the Sources pane at the top, click the plus button. This opens a little menu. You've got the options to create a new CSS file, to attach an existing CSS file, or to define in the page. Defining in the page creates an embedded style block in the head of the page, as I've just shown you in embeddedstyles.html. So what we want to do is to create a new CSS file. So select that option and it opens this dialog box. Then click the Browse button and this opens this dialog box. Make sure that you're in the site root. The site root button is up at the top here on Windows in the Save Style Sheet As dialog box. We're in the Exercises site root. It's a very good idea to keep all your style sheets together. I've already created a folder called Styles, so we'll open that and we'll create the file name as highway.css. Then click Save, and it brings us back to this dialog box. The default option of link is fine, and you don't need to bother with conditional usage. I'll be covering that in a later lesson when we're dealing with media queries in responsive web design. So just click OK. And on line 6 in code view, you can see that Dreamweaver has created a link element which links Styles Highway CSS to our page. And in the Related Files toolbar, you can see that highway.css is now listed. If you click that, it will show you the content of the style sheet, which at the moment is empty, in code view. There's an asterisk next to highway.css and highway.html, so both pages need to be saved. Go to the File menu and select Save All Related Files, and it will save both together. So, although you can create inline styles or embed them in the head of a web page, it's far more efficient to use an external style sheet. And the way to do so is to go to the CSS Designer panel and click the plus button at the top of the Sources pane.